Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order at 4:40, November 4th.
Okay.
First, the point of business is approval of October 7th minutes.
I think Doreen's got some comments. If you want to get the comments before we approve them.
Okay,
I don't know if it's
we
okay.
can go out of order and take public participation.
Approval, they come back and find out it's not.
That's fine. We can go to public participation right now. Go out of order.
We could always go in that order if we want to.
Yeah.
And that's what we do at the town board is public comment comes first, so.
Okay, I'll change it next time. Because I think it's better rather than coming back to something approved.
Absolutely. Doreen?
Thank you. I just had some, I didn't have time to talk to Randy before the meeting about some potential changes to the minutes. So for the October 7th minutes, Tom Colgan was present.
Yep.
It's not marked as anything. Under number 1, where it says approval of September 9th minutes, that was for 0. But the July 1st and August 5th part should be removed because that was from the September meeting. And on number 3, plant status, also the last line, employees received back pay. That was from the September meeting. And then since all votes are supposed to be documented, we're missing the vote that was taken on number 7, the staff promotions. That was for 2 people to be promoted. There was a 5-0 vote on that, and that was missing. There was no vote noted for Randy's vacation, which was approved 5-0. And then under new business, says Brian Martinez proposed that the board enter an executive session to discuss succession plan. Well, the motion was made by Rebecca Edwards, and she had said that it was to discuss a salary question. So it really should have been for 1051F of the Open Meetings Law, the history of a particular person.
Yeah, it should also be, it was a vote to go into executive session, right? A 5-0 vote. Yep. Because you can't just propose that. You have to actually vote. Okay.
So the modified minute, you done, Doreen?
Yes.
So the modified minutes are going to show Tom was here. We're going to strike board approved July 1st and August 5th.
But we did approve the September 9th minutes.
Correct.
Right? Exactly.
Correct. We're just striking the second sentence. We're going to strike the employees receive back pay based upon new contract settlement. We are going to add promotions were approved by a vote of 5-0. Randy's vacation was approved by a vote of 5-0. And we went to executive session to discuss a salary of a particular employee.
And that it was a 5-0 vote to go into executive session.
And it was a 5-0 vote for exec.
Right.
Okay.
Did we take a vote when we came back out of exec session?
Yes.
I believe that Randy's vacation is mentioned at the bottom, but it doesn't say that it's a vote. See it there at the, right before meeting was
Yep.
closed, right? So, yep, but that's it, but we need to say it was a 5-0 vote.
Yep.
Got it.
But that was actually before.
That was before executive session, yes.
That's true.
But I don't know if you voted on anything when you came out of the executive session, because that's one thing about having the video off then. You don't know what the results were, so.
There wasn't any other vote afterwards.
Yeah, we just closed the meeting.
It was a vote to close the meeting.
Yep,
That's all I have for the minutes.
yeah. Thank you, Doreen.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Second.
As amended?
Yes. All in favor of amending the minutes and approving? Aye. Aye.
I'll second that if you needed a second.
Okay. Next point of business is the plant status report. Randy?
For 12.24 million gallons of air finished driving average last month, which was about 500,000 less than September, so we're going back down for a winter time. Turbidities have been great. Plant's been operating well. We had basin number one out of service for a long time in a month. We had to pull a lot of mud out of it, so you can see that there's a lot more mud was pulled out of here. It was up 20%. Yeah, it was down because we got the basin back up. We still haven't got our UPSs done yet. They finally finished them. When we did the load test, we had them test, they found one of the units was bad. So they had to get a new part. So they got the new part. They came in last week and installed it. And now we're going to be doing a load test this week. So, and maybe then it might be next week, but that'll be the last part of that. I think that should be it for that. We are, I don't know what we've talked about, but do we have a problem with the Lanting's number 5 filter? That filter, that was the one that was originally number 1 and caught on fire. And things have been going weird with it. There was problems with the ultrasonic cleaning. And as a result, Lanting's decided they're going to replace the unit. So we're going to get a new unit. It might come as early as next week. So we'll have to start it up again.
What's the install time? How long does it take to put in?
A day.
Oh, okay, so it's nothing.
But it'll probably keep out of service for a week maybe, because taking it out and putting it back and stuff. But we also have to get through the state approval thing, what we did before. So we'll have to talk to Brock about, so, and we'll have to do the certification and it's all to test it out.
And this is not, there's a cost to us, or they're replacing it because the other one malfunctioned fairly spectacularly.
So then I bought fire again.
Yep.
Yeah, to cut fire again.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Good.
One of the things we did this month too was had OSHA training. So we had, we did the OSHA 10 training, which is what's required for contractors, employees. And it covers all topics in 10 hours of training. So I think 90% of our employees got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that for my guys too. It's just pulling teeth. That's good. It's good you did that. I'm
I
glad.
do know, just aside, I do know there were a couple of operators that wanted to take it, but weren't able to fit it in for scheduling purposes. So if you do get that going,
Will do.
let us know.
Will do.
I know that there were a couple of other interests.
Do we do that departmentally or townwide in the town? We'll talk.
Yeah. Next point of business, operating budget status.
We're showing that we're 83% into the year and 78% expended, so that's looking reasonable. The expended, it does show in this one that we didn't use any contingency yet, but we did use 50,000 at the end of the month. Yeah, 50,000, so there's still 20,000 in the contingency. So I think we're gonna.
And that contingency was used for?
The filters.
Yeah.
All that electric and all the electric trucks probably we had.
And it doesn't show that yet? Is that 7498? The
Yeah, it
contingency
wasn't
line?
when I did the budget, but I think they did it that day, they changed it. They transferred the money out.
So it's in there now. It's not showing up on this sheet yet, but
Right, that money's been spent in.
Audit status. I have no report from the audit status.
yeah, the last we heard Brian was working on, I believe 22 is not done yet. And they were working on finishing that and moving toward 23, but I don't know where that stands.
Nor do I.
And my understanding is 22 and 23 are gonna be done this year.
That's what he had said last time, but I have no knowledge of that. We'll move along till Brian can make mention of that. Flow study status.
I got an email from our consultant. They're saying that they're looking at census data, Bureau data collection and analysis for population household trends in the town, city and county. They're doing GIS based mapping, determination of appropriate statistical model to use in conjunction with the planning staff. They're setting up a virtual meeting with the city, town and county planning departments. That's supposed to happen this week. And now I guess we do have the director of the Water Wastewater Authority has been changed. Michael Keating's no longer there.
Yeah, he was retired.
It's Jonathan.
Jonathan Turns.
Did we mention having them come and give us an update
They're
last time?
supposed to be here at this meeting, I thought.
We talked about it, but this is what I got.
Okay, do we want to have them at the next meeting?
Yeah, like,
right? A little face to face, or at least virtual.
Something.
I don't mind.
Okay,
Do you want me to talk with Barb about reaching out to them? Do you want the board to do it? Okay.
Yeah, virtual's okay. That's
So Jonathan's been the acting executive director for maybe heading towards 6 months, but as of November 1st, was that Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just Friday, he formally became the executive director. But both previous ones, I think Mike Keating is working 12 hours a week, and even Bridget Barkley was providing transition support. The last three executive directors are still at reach. No loss of institutional knowledge.
filter under drain replacement.
last meeting, we put the proposal together for the 70,000 and that got approved. But there's a concern that's going on with that in that it's CSE funded. And I sent out that the IUP's been approved and we're listed on the approval, but they changed the way you hire engineers in that you have to do an RFQ and you have to get some replies to it. And then ultimately, you have to do it for the procedure and ultimately they have to be certified by the lawyer. So last week I gave Dylan all kinds of good information, overwhelming information, almost like 16 boxes. I gave the information of what I found. What we have is Brian thinks it's not a problem. And our purchasing agent says it is a problem and that she doesn't think we did the right thing to hire an engineer. So I was looking for that, see what Dylan said.
I'm hoping to have an answer tomorrow or Wednesday. I have an idea of what I think the answer should be, and I sent it to a couple of our government relations attorneys. They do this stuff every day with procurement, and they'll be able to look at it and succinctly say yes or no. So. And it really just has to do with whether it's an amendment or if the original RFQ is sufficient. So really that's the kind of the amendment piece is what I'm looking to them to give me a little more information on.
And I mean, Randy shared my opinion on it. There's certainly communities that have done not as thorough of an effort as this board and have certainly met the RFQ requirements of the FC. So from what my experience, you've done more than enough. From what I conveyed to Randy is that because that contract has been executed, certainly the last time you also did an open RFQ. It was an RFQ. You didn't ask for prices for engineers to support the board based on qualifications, and you selected engineers to do so. So in my mind, both processes, this one you just did and the last one you did in 2018, absolutely meet the requirements of Environmental Facilities Corp and their guidance. If it's better to just get a contract under 2024 one and do a task under that, we have no problem doing that. It just the contract hasn't been completed and executed yet. So we've been working under 2018 until that happens. But both of them, the history of your public advertisement, the number of respondents don't matter as long as it was publicly advertised. You definitely did that in a suitable way. You look at your solutions, you grade on who you think is acceptable, and you let someone know they're your engineer. So as far as my knowledge of the process, you have followed it to the letter. And it really comes down to the legal review saying, yes, we concur. We have followed a good faith effort in accordance to these requirements. So
Great, thank you.
We'll have the answer this week and.
Yeah, and I
go from
think
there.
I think you're right with the actual procedure, and then it's just a question of whether the under drain work falls within that or if it would be an amendment. So that's kind of the nuance to it. So it was done properly. It's just making sure that the right hat goes on it.
exactly. So we're happy to change that in any manner to meet. However, we should contractually proceed. Gotcha.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
All right.
The IUP, the draft IUP has been out, but now the final one, is being issued.
It's
So,
approved, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been issued
just happened.
last week.
Yeah, end of last week, so. But there's no substantial changes from our ranking or status.
And in there, the village of Wappingers is in there for new filters.
Yep.
Saw my list,
So,
yeah.
so therefore.
For
I guess they're not gonna
manganese?
wanna
Is
water-
it manganese they're taking out of the water down there?
Green filters.
Green sand.
Okay, right.
So that must explain why they didn't come back to us.
Got it all figured out. Whole business.
I just wanted to report on IMA specifically because Tommy's here, and make sure that I believe our next meeting is November 15th. On Friday, November 15th at 1 PM. And our hope is, am I right that that was the meeting? Limited number of people here who can answer, Dylan, I'm looking at you. That we wanted to have the town and city engineer join us if possible and talk with us about the system. So we all have a map of the system and you can tell us everything you think we need to know about how it works. I believe that's the only meeting on my calendar right now. So I think that was the one. So in essence, or Dylan, do we have another meeting where we need to review the documents you're working on first?
I think that was the plan, was to
Okay.
have, and that's why we pushed back from last week, because I think
Okay,
one person couldn't make it, so we had to
Right.
do that.
so I'm jumping the gun then, and we're not having the engineers there.
I
yet.
think we are, the
We are.
engineers.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's one of the,
City and town water departments.
yeah.
Okay, so then 1 to 3 on Friday, November 15th. Tommy, I don't know if you're free and able to join the IMA working group. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
To give all of us a picture of how the system works with a particular focus on transportation through the town of Poughkeepsie to the third parties, to the central pipeline and what we need to know about costs and upkeep. We're in the process of looking at, different models for third party customers to pay and thinking about what our costs are. This is all about what are our costs to run this system?
Mhm.
What are our costs for capital upkeep and in addition to operations? And so we want a full understanding of the system on that basis. I'm sure there's about a zillion other things you could tell us about the system, right? We could be there for days.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be a little bit focused here on what it is that we need to
Yeah.
know as the IMA working group. So I think that's the 15th. And then some of our work needs to wait for the flow study. So,
Right, and the full study schedule, actually, we talked through that. The planning kickoff is November 8th. The fall documentation, November 15th, draft of the full study, December 6th. And then the final full study, the 20th.
Okay. Happy holidays.
And also, Dottie has updated the IMA, so it's in Word now.
Oh, great.
I think she sent it out, so you probably have it.
It's great.
It's great. We both went through it and I marked it up a lot with crossing things out. There was a lot of that IMA has to deal with the upgrade we did back in 2004.
And the setup of the whole thing,
Yeah.
right? The process by which people would agree to set the things, right?
Transition
Yep.
fee and stuff that have already gone away.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Any more old business?
Has anyone checked with the city engineer, Mr. Oko, on whether he can come as well or someone?
I just made a note to ask him tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Where's the meeting?
Here,
Here,
Okay,
Mhm.
yep,
November
ask-
15th, 1 to 3.
I'll ask him tomorrow.
That'd be great.
Yep. New business. Okay. No new business? Are we gonna have a record meeting time this month?
yeah.
Okay, I move we adjourn. Okay, all in favor? Aye, yes.
Right.
Beautiful.